The voices draw her onward.
Yeah, funny Coop, you told a joke. If you want to laugh, have a look at your numbers on your Star Wars video. Why on earth did you put that out on May the 4th? Who's looking at Star Wars stuff then? It was fine, mate. It didn't bother me. I do want Fallen Order on the channel on the PlayStation 5. Brilliant deal with a free upgrade. And I also featured the game on that Star Wars list via the PC at 1080, but at some very rich settings. As you can see, barely anything in this. Now, I defaulted over to performance mode on the PlayStation 5 version of this game. I didn't quite like that 30 frames per second. I love the snappiness of this game and I wanted things to be nice and smooth. What I was concerned about is that it's blown up on a larger TV. If it's running at 1080, sometimes you can see some weird shit going on with the upscale. It was perfect. I never once thought to myself, my God, this isn't 4K. We had exactly the same thing with, Mortal Shell. Can you believe? Yeah, Mortal Shell. That's a great game. Is that Snoke? It's not Snoke, right? Am I being a Star Wars tourist?
Got an intruder!
If you don't know, you do know. Casuals be gone. The Star Wars Fallen Order, Jedi Star Wars Order of the Fallen, is actually a Souls-like. So it's got this amazing third-person ARPG combat, and also a nice, difficult restart bonfire system. It's a brilliant formula laid down onto a beloved IP, and they really did it justice.
Wanna try it out?
I'm also completely head over heels, currently in love with Survivor. It is amazing. It's everything this is and better, and it got its own standalone review again over on the PC, so even that might get laid out on the PlayStation 5 on the channel in the future. So working on my current top single player games list, and I'm spanning 2 years. I'm going to do 2023 and this year. I just need to get a few more titles under my belt, but it's looking like a cracking bunch of games. And Survivor is certainly in there. By the way, they survived some of those falls. How does that even work? I wouldn't say this was an overlooked game on release. It's certainly got a hell of a lot of praise, and for a brand new IP from Respawn and using the Star Wars name, the pressure on them from the fan base and from people who were fans of Respawn full stop must have been incredible, but they totally pulled it off. Some of my minor complaints with the game, and you may have heard me say this before, and against Survivor, it's a bit more predominant and it's large gaps between the restart points that involve... The fuck? That was SWAT. I think Skill Up just tried to dox me. It was a postman. Don't sue me, Skill Up, mate. I love you. I love that accent. Really Moorish hearing you recommend stuff. The gaps between the bonfires thing is kind of an issue in places. Not because of a difficult combat situation, but because you might have what feels like a randomized reroll on some of these damn jumps and acrobatics. But it's by the by, if Survivor wasn't out and I didn't realise how fixed that area is, I probably wouldn't even be moaning. If you think about it, that's kind of one of the major selling points for a Souls-like, is that risk reward with venturing further away from your restart point. But with this, you'll have a millimetre of health and you'll be miles out. You'll be thinking to yourself, I do not want to do all of that wall jumping around again, and one of them rats will pop out the ground and one-shot you. I think they could be by far one of my most hated minor enemies of any Souls-like. They're unbelievable and they stack up their hits. Sometimes they give you 3, sometimes they'll give you 2. But again, all part of the process. I think in Dark Souls 1, one of my first experiences with that was the normal grunts that walk around. They have this randomizer, and you'll all know about this, where they produce a 7-hit like flail of attacks at you. It's an amazing thing. It's not that common, but it always seemed to happen at the worst time.
Get the Jedi! That's it. It's all over now.
One of the things I do enjoy about the combat in Fallen Order, and I'm quite surprised you see this often in other Souls-likes, The enemies are not telegraphing their attacks. There is no UI warning, there is no indicator above their heads, little shiny light that sparkles, nothing. You have to watch their movements, you have to watch the swing of their weapons. That's very cool, it makes you observant, and it does put you in the immersion, not having any external pointers towards when you need to have that parry window or when you need to return a hit.
Cal Kestis. How predictable.
I also very much enjoy the villains and boss fights. They're embedded into the story, they feel meaningful, their dialogue's pretty cool. This particular individual, that helmet, not practical. Must have been told off for shrugging their shoulders too much, and the Empire sort of made them wear that as punishment, right? As soon as those shoulders move or you tilt your head, you're going to give yourself some sort of neck injury. So not too much thought given into the design of that outfit, but it's a very cool fight. Didn't take a single hit in this bit of footage. I am amazing at video games, let's be honest, guys.
You can't run forever.
It's also, and this is for the people who haven't played the game, got a stamina meter on the enemy side. A twangometer, really. Legal disclosure, the term twangometer is patented by Couchcube 2019. And you can keep pushing punishment and that will break their block. So think of the Nier 1 and 2 games, it's pretty cool. It's a bit more simplified than that, but the fact that it's there and you can work at an enemy and get through a defense, it's a really cool idea. I love seeing it in Souls-like. Sekiro is probably the dawn of that entire mechanic. Is that Snoke in that? I'm lying. Sekiro isn't the dawn in that category. Nier 2 offers an incredible amount of detail on it, giving like a rebirth system. I've put it all into a list, the 3 games, including Wulong. Hop on over and have a look at that. I did want to cover location and some of these just out and out graphical peaks with the game. This is where I'm sitting there thinking, oh, I should really have this on 4K. That also reminds me, and this is going to be a huge complaint going forward with consoles, because I'm a PC owner as well, really into my numbers, really into working out exactly what sort of resolution I'm clapping eyes on. The options menus in console games are just like, higher quality, what are you on about? How is that 4K? What is it, 2K, super sampled? You're just bobbing me off. They do it all the time. So I'm not even sure, and I don't like Googling. We had the chat about stopping and asking for directions. We should really be told in the options what we're looking at on a numeric level. I think a lot of developers sort of round things up and down with that one. You wouldn't get away with that sort of stuff over on PC.
You're not getting out of here alive.
You might also remember me talking about getting stuck on this game, getting forced down this slope and then flung into this combat arena with those guys that have got those 2 sort of nunchuck things. I didn't experience that big, I didn't find it. I think I must have stumbled into some sort of weird OP secret area. That sentence took about 6 attempts for some reason.
You haven't trained enough.
So schedule-wise, I've got a bit of a surprise for you guys. I've got my next 5 more local co-op PS4, PS5 game video coming up. Haven't done one of those for nearly 2 years. And I've got a director's cut special featuring Death Stranding and Ghost of Tsushima. I will, of course, see you slags down there. I don't mean you skill up.
Failed. Victory is assured. Don't let him escape.
I'm drawing the pair